The last Monday of the month is movie night in Fort Erie. It's the Fort Erie Film Circuit, and they're presenting the movie Scrapper next Monday, January 29th. Kathryn Rogers, this looks like a really charming story about a 12-year-old girl. She's living on her own.
She is, and she has a lot of tricks up her sleeve to convince the school authorities and the social services that she has adult supervision, and she's living with her uncle, whose name is Winston Churchill.
So the title of the film, Scrapper, it basically describes her. She's a scrappy young lady.
She is a very scrappy young lady, but what she also does to raise money to have an income, she steals bicycles and she sells the parts as scrap. And that's how she earns her money.
Right.
So yes, there are lots of levels to that meaning, scrapper. And I think it's going to be a film where there's a lot of hijinks, there is humor, but there's also pathos, and there's also a lot of sensitivity.
If I look at the films in your series, the 3 films in the series, My Mother's Men is the next one.
Yes.
And Who's Your Father? Is there a family theme on this?
Yes, when I was doing my research for this interview, I definitely realized that there was, in My Mother's Men, again, our heroine has lost her mother, but it's a different twist this time. It's set in Quebec. The movie is in French with English subtitles, and her mother, who is eccentric, has left instructions in her will to her daughter that she is to scatter all of her mother's ashes among her 5 ex-husbands.
Right.
And one of them is Elsie's father. The other 4 are stepdads.
Right.
And because Elsie is a good daughter, she wants to fulfill her mother's wishes. But of course, what happens is it becomes a journey of discovery for Elsie.
That's on February 26th, and then March
Yes.
26th, another film.
Yes, on March 25th, Who's Your Father? So this is a Canadian film set in Prince Edward Island. And the name comes from an often asked question on the East Coast. So who is your father then? Excuse my accent, it's probably not PEI.
Pretty close.
What they want to know is there a connection between you and I? We have just met. The East Coast population is very small, so it's very likely there is a connection. So that's where that comes from. And the story is about a private investigator. So can you imagine in a community where everybody knows everybody else, how difficult it is to do private investigation?
For sure.
Yes.
So these films, they're about that spirit, but they're also very humorous in many ways.
Yes, all of them have humor, all of them have hijinks, all of them they take a little different twist on movies that we think we might have seen before, but they make it a little bit more interesting than something you've had before.
All screening at the Meridian Center for the Arts at Greater Fort Erie Secondary School. Beautiful
That's
theater.
correct. Yes, we have 500 seats, so lots of space for everyone in case anyone is still feeling a little concerned about COVID. Lots of space to spread out. Our films start at 7 o'clock.
Can people buy tickets ahead of time, or is it just at the door?
It's just at the door, and it's cash only, $10 for a single ticket or $25 for a book of 3.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. All 3 movies sound fantastic. Thanks for joining us today, Kathryn.
And thank you, Mike.